We're back. Chair Yoga with Josie. Welcome. I'm Josie. This is a channel for you so that you can learn to breathe and move and be at ease, right? This is the gifts of yoga, to really be yourself. Okay. So today we're going to have a balance class. So we're going to take a bit of time to discover some ways to improve balance. First of all, begin at the front of your chair. Bring your ankles under your knees more or less ahead of your hip joints. If they need to be a bit wider, don't worry, no problem. Roll your shoulders a couple times. Rest your hands down or up, or even hands in your lap with your dominant hand on top. And close your eyes if you're willing. Let your attention right away turn to your breathing and just notice, are there any rough parts, any bumpy parts in your breath right now? So you're just sensing, observing your breath without you doing anything except this observing. And then start to even out your breath. So you're going to count your breath 3 or 4 in and the same out. So you just set up a very even rhythm. It doesn't have to be a giant inhale and a giant exhale, right? Just keep it pretty close to your natural breath rhythm. Maybe a touch longer, maybe. Just counting. And then add the breath technique. So each exhale, low belly draws a bit back and up, and each inhale, it just softens really sweetly out and down. You can always watch the breath technique video if you've missed it. So exhale, the belly moves back and up, and inhale, it softens. It's this place here above your pubic bone and below your belly button. Be gentle about it. Okay, take your time to open up your eyes if you had them closed. Let's do our warm-up. So elbows bent, inhale, lift up your elbows, and exhale, carefully lower them back down. Again, inhaling, opening up, exhaling, lowering back down. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, lifting your elbows, and exhaling, lowering back down. You can keep your elbows bent. Don't forget, don't move into pain in your shoulders, right? Or you can straighten your arms. Inhaling, open up, maybe lift a bit higher. And as you exhale, palms down. You can bring your chin a bit back as you look down here. So inhale begins, your arms open up, maybe you look up, be gentle, right? Exhale, carefully, chin moves a bit back as you look down. One more, inhale all the way up and open as best you can. And as you exhale, carefully, slowly, come on all the way back down. Okay, roll your shoulders a couple times. Got a couple of twists and side bends to do before we get going with our balances. So you're going to take your right knee out to the right side. Maybe shift to this right corner of your chair here. It can make it a bit easier. And then possibly be on your right heel. If that doesn't work for you, just keep the right foot on the mat, on the ground. Okay, right palm is open on your thigh. Breathe in, gently lift the left arm. You can also have your fingertips to your shoulder. Exhale, belly lifts to support this side stretch. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, belly lifts to support you. Breathing in lifts you up. Your exhale begins to reach over. Inhale begins lifting through the crown of your head. Last time, exhale to reach over. We're going to stay here. See what you can do to keep your breath smooth and even. So again, if your shoulder's not happy, you could have your fingertips here. You could have your hand to your hip. If you feel your back is saying no, what are you doing so deep in, right? Just come up a bit more. Okay, when you begin to inhale, think about the crown of your head lifting up to bring yourself up. Great. Exhale, carefully releasing. Right foot, step it in. If it was out, bring that right leg forwards. And then scoot yourself more over to the left corner. Right knee straight ahead, left knee opens out just as best you can, possibly onto your left heel here. If If your knee's not happy, maybe keep your foot on the ground. Okay. Left palm open here. So you've got to make sure you're lifting your belly as you exhale to support this movement. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, belly lifts, gently reach over. Inhale, come on up. Length of your exhale to reach over. Length of your inhale to come on up. Length of your exhale to reach over. Length of your breath in to rise. Exhale, belly strong to reach over. Last one, inhale, come on up. So here we go. Exhale, carefully reach over and stay in a place where you can still breathe smoothly and evenly. So if your breath gets bumpy, it's your nervous system telling you to do less. So have a good listen to your breath here. Your breath will be like if you go too far. When you're inhaling next time, crown of your head, it reaches up. So you're lengthening your spine here. Great. Exhale, careful with your shoulder. You've been reaching up and over for a while. Left foot in, left knee forwards. Scoot yourself to the front of your chair. So just for a moment, pause. Check in, maybe with your eyes closed. So I can feel when I came back to the front, I dropped my chest a bit. And I only noticed it when I closed my eyes. So I'm going to work to lift my chest, lift my collarbones, in fact. So they feel really buoyant, those collarbones. Maybe you're like, my collarbones definitely don't feel buoyant. That's okay. That's quite okay. Ready for our twist. So you can keep your feet hip width apart here. And don't feel you have to keep your pelvis glued to the chair, right? It's absolutely fine to slide your right hip back. So we're going to breathe in, lift the arms to shoulder height, maybe slide your right hip back a bit as you exhale and carefully rotate to the right. Easy to collapse here, so be mindful that you're breathing in, lifting tall, head on top of your spine. So let's turn the head just a touch more to the right. And gently, gently slide your eyes to the right. Soften your jaw here. Have a good breathe here. And on your next breath in, gently undo all of that. Come back to the center front of your chair. So it's easy just to do this twist with the head, right? That's our necks are built for swiveling because our eyes on the front of our head, right? So we want to look out for, tigers jumping out at us in the jungle. But what we're looking to do here is to get some rotation. It actually starts pretty low down in your spine. So inhale, arms to shoulder height. As you exhale, maybe slide your left hip back, turn. So I've got my chin above my breastbone as I'm turning here. Have another breath in to get tall. Maybe you gently turn your head a bit left, ever so gentle with your neck. And maybe you slide your eyes to the left as well. A good few breaths. Check you're tall. And when you're ready to inhale next time, get taller and taller and taller and taller as you undo your twist here. Okay, have a good breath in, circle your arms, or lift your elbows up and out. Exhale, come on down through your midline. 2 more times. Inhale, let your chest and heart lift high. As you exhale, come on down through the midline. Let's do 1 more like that. Inhale, gently look up if you can. And as you exhale, bring your hands down through your midline until you rest your dominant hand in the other one on your lap. Roll your shoulders back and down. Sit tall, close your eyes, and sense your breathing. So this breathing, you can keep your eyes closed if you'd like to. This breathing is going to be really central to our balances coming right up. So we want to really work to develop that noticing of the breath. Blink your eyes open if you're ready. If you're done, just stop the video, go drink a nice cup of tea. Otherwise, come up to stand if you can. So we're going to begin not with the chair, but with the wall. So I'm going to move my chair right out of the way. So find a wall space. It's a good idea if you find only a door space that it's a door that opens towards you. Because of course, if it's a door that opens away from you, you understand what I mean. So we're going to start facing the wall. Hands just a bit higher than shoulder height here. We'll have a good breath in. And as you start to exhale, walk your feet a step or two back. So what we're going to do is hinge back at the hips to find downward facing dog. Have your feet at least hip width apart. And if your hamstrings are tight, open your feet wider than your hips. So this is going to be great for many of us, and certainly if your blood pressure is high or if you have eye pressure issues, stay here. However, if your shoulders are more flexible, you may want to step a bit further back so you can stretch out a bit more. This is not for friends with hypertension. If your eye pressure is not great, you don't want to come down here either. So rather than rounding your back, think about someone grabbing your pelvis as if you're in a tug of war and pulling you back here. It's a good idea to turn your heels a bit out, your big toes a bit in. It helps to facilitate the pelvis rotating around the tops of your thighs. So not dropping your head, not lifting your chin. Work the crown of your head towards the wall. Push into your hands. Stretch your side body long and have a good breathe. If you're feeling it in your shoulders, walk your hands up again. Good, smooth, even breaths if you can. Good. Next time you're inhaling, take your time here, right? Walk your hands up, walk your feet a bit, no rushing. I like to keep my chin a bit tucked as I come back up. Give myself a moment to recover here before we come to our side plank. So we'll start with the right hand at the wall, a bit higher than your shoulder head. In a moment, we'll be pressing into that hand. So if your wrist doesn't feel good in that position, you could work a straight fist here, right? But it's got to be really straight, not bendy. The other option, which I like as well, is to bring your forearm to the wall here. So you can have your elbow the same height as your shoulder. I'm going to show you with the extended arm here. Okay. So we're going to start to walk the feet to the left, and you'll feel right away that you're taking weight into this arm. Left hand to your left hip, head up on top of your spine. Locate your outer left ankle, and as you begin to inhale, reach that outer left ankle away from your right leg. See if you can push your right heel down a bit more. Keep finding that outer left heel. It's easy for your foot to turn open. That's not what you want to have happening. So you're just finding that outer left hip, reaching it. Option to add your left arm here, maybe even looking at your left hand. See what feels like a place where you can breathe still. Couple more breaths if that's available to you, standing tall. So to come out, you can either lower down and come out by stepping in, or I enjoy pushing into my hand and dropping back down, gently lowering your arms. Okay, we're going to make our way to the other side. I'll come stand here and I'll use my hand this time. So remember, the options are hand, fist, or forearm diagonally. You've got to line up your shoulder so it's comfortable. right hand to right hip, and then step away from the wall. Step away from the wall. Okay. Outer right heel. On a breath in, lift it out to the side. As high as you can, right? Breathing, breathing, breathing. Check your breath. Check your breath. Let your breath be your guide. Maybe the last couple breaths, right arm lifting. So you can drop onto that right foot, or you can just exhale, lower everything down and walk yourself towards the wall again. All right, well done. Let's roll out the shoulders. Time for a balance with the chair. Those plants aren't going to be happy. Let's turn it around. Okay. So, you might like a blanket here or a pillow balanced on the back of your chair if your forearms feel tender here. So I'm going to begin feet hip width apart. I'm going to have a breath in, and as I exhale, I'm going to walk my feet back. And then I'm going to come onto my forearms here. Okay, so it's going to be a big balance. Hope you're ready. I like to start stepped with my feet stepped together here. It's completely up to you. I know some people like to bring, if you've got space, like to bring their hands to the seat of the chair here. See what you like. So we're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, slide your left foot back and just pause for a moment with your left toes tucked under. Have an inhalation. Think about the back of your left thigh here. From that place, as you exhale, lift your left leg. Can you push, push, push through your left heel as you lift up? So how's your breathing doing? Can you maybe lift your chest a touch? Careful of your back though. If your back's not so happy, you could also rest your forehead to your forearms here. How's your breathing doing? Could you lift that leg any higher? Next exhale, carefully, carefully lower your left leg. We're going to go straight to the other side, so have a couple of good breaths. When you're ready, slide that right foot back. Start with your toes tucked under. Have a good breath in. So here we go. Push away through your heel. Lift the back of your right thigh as you exhale. Maybe you want to rest your forehead down. Maybe you want to lift your chest up. Carefully does it. Keep lifting the back of that right thigh. It's really unimportant how high you lift your leg, by the way. You're just finding the place that's a challenge, and yet you can still breathe well. Breathing well means smoothly breathing 3 or 4 in and the same out. On an exhale, lower that leg back down. Let's walk up towards the chair. Have a moment standing tall, sensing yourself. How's it going? And then one last time, we're going to slide the hands to hold the sides of the chair and walk all the way back now as far as you can. Turn your heels a touch out, your big toes a touch in, ears between your upper arms. As if you're in a tug of war and someone's got a hold of your pelvis and they're pulling it way back. Breathing, 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 breathing. So I'm holding the sides of my chair here. Careful, right? You don't want to pull your chair over. So I'm almost pushing away here in my hands. Okay. So come on up. Keep your chin a touch drawn back and down as you walk back up. Keep a good hold of your chair. Notice how you're doing. Okay. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to wiggle your hips and wiggle your shoulders. Why don't we do this more often? Just shake out everything. Hands as well. All right. So, the classical balance, right? I met a kid the other day, a 3-year-old, and he said, I do yoga with Cosmic Yoga Kids on YouTube. So I asked him to do a yoga pose, and what did he do right away? tree pose. It's called Vriksasana in Sanskrit. Vriksasana. V-R-K, Vriksasana. So let's come to the chair, the side of the chair. Right hip here, alongside your chair back. You can be on your fingertips here. I know for taller friends, it's not so easy to reach your chair back. I don't know, maybe you need to raise your chair. I don't know. So start with your feet together. Left hand to your left hip. So here is a great yogic tool. It's called dristi. And it's a very soft but very stable, steady gaze. So when we're coming to these one-legged balances, especially, learning to use your eyes in this specific way is really helpful. So you're going to look out along the floor ahead of you to a place where you can keep your head on top of your spine and easily gaze down to the ground. Don't worry, you can have a quick peek at what I'm doing if you need to, but you probably don't need to. So we've got the left hand to the left hip. We're going to bend the left knee. Turn your whole left leg out, so it's an external rotation in your left hip. And you can choose, you could place your heel on your inner right ankle with your toes on the ground. You could place your left foot onto your right foot, or you can slide your foot up to your low leg. Your right hip, have a look, if you're looking down to the ground, have a look for a sec. Maybe your right hip swung out, so draw it in and press your right heel down. As you press your heel down, let yourself get taller. Okay, doesn't matter which foot position you chose. Steady your gaze again. So find that spot ahead of you on the earth. Keep your eyes very steady on that spot, but soften your eyes. So it's a soft, steady gaze. Take your left hand and place it at your heart center. Keep that right hip drawn in, your right heel pressing down. Keep your eyes really steady. Notice your breathing. Option to float your fingers from the chair back. Keep your eyes on that spot. The chair is right there if you need it. Check out your breath. Just sense how things wobble, right? There's a gajillion sensors in your ankle. I want to keep them wide awake. Okay, whoops, I nearly fell. Grab your chair back so you can undo that eye gazing. Release your left hand. Bring your left knee forwards and step down. And pause a moment, stand tall. Turn your upper arms open and sense yourself standing really tall and steady. Let's try the other side, right? Oftentimes the other side is really, really different, so no expectations. That's the great thing with yoga, you just get to start again. So even if you were really wobbly on the other side, or if you were really amazing on the other side, it doesn't matter. You're just going to start again. Left hip alongside your chair back. Left fingertips for balance, right hand to right hip, right knee bends, right leg opens. If your left hip's swinging out, draw it in, press your left heel down. Okay, go ahead, steady your gaze. You can place your right foot wherever you like with the toes on the ground like a kickstand. You can stand on your left foot, or you can slide that right foot up to your low leg. If you're a super flexy person, you can also bring it up on your inner thigh, but it's really not necessary. Don't get fooled into thinking you need to jack your hip wide open, right? It's not so great for your sacrum, for your SI joints. Okay, stand yourself tall, steady your gaze, your dristi, and bring your right hand to your heart center. So that steady, steady, soft, soft gaze. Keep your eyes there. Maybe you'd like to float your left hand gently from the chair back. It doesn't matter if you wobble. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice if you're holding your breath. Okay, find your chair back with your left hand. Bring your right knee forwards and step yourself down. Maybe you want to have a wiggle. I want to have a wiggle. Shake and shimmy it out. So holding your breath makes everything really uptight. And that's not necessarily going to help your balance, right? It's tree pose, right? You can think about trees. They have a possibility to sway in the wind. They're not brittle, right? They don't snap. So if you're holding your breath and making your body really stiff, is not a great idea. Okay, let's see. Ready for one more balance? We're going to do it. Last one. And it's pretty similar to what we just did actually, but you got the opportunity to let go of the chair here. So it's up to you. You're either going to keep a hold of the chair or you're going to have both hands to your hips. You choose. I'll do the first side with my hand to the chair. So either with both hands to hips or one hand to your chair back. Make sure you're not leaning there, of course. You're just finding a little balance with your fingertips. Maybe you'd like to start with your feet together. It's up to you. Steady your dristi, that steady, soft gaze. Start to pour your weight into your right foot, and as you exhale, lift your belly and lift your left knee as high as you can. Keep your chest lifting, keep your gaze really steady. So if you have your hand on your chair back, you might float your fingers. And if you're having both hands to your hips, you're just going to stay there. So check, let your breath move. Keep your eyes steady and soft. Couple more breaths. Find your chair back. Step your left foot out and wiggle out your hips. Come on around to the other side. So this is one of those tests that your doctor might do to check how your balance is going. So you can practice it ahead of time. The more you practice your balance, the better it gets. Okay, so left hip level with your chair back, left fingertips to the chair, right hand to right hip, and go ahead, pour your weight into your left foot. Maybe lift your chest, right? If your head drops forwards, the weight of your head makes balancing much more difficult, right? You could see that here, right? Big, big weight. Giant brain, of course. Just kidding. That's going to topple me forward, so I'm going to do my best to lift up. On an exhale, lift that right knee. Steady your gaze. Soften your eyes. Maybe float that left hand from your chair back. And if you're doing it with both hands to hips, that's fabulous too. Still, keep your head on top of your spine. Check you're not holding your breath. So you're not trying to stop that left ankle making its adjustments. You're trusting. Trusting. Okay, left hand finds your chair. Step your right foot down. Give your hips a wiggle. Give your shoulders a shimmy. And then let's come and sit down and take a break because we've really been going at it for quite some time. So sit over to the front of your chair. Roll your shoulders back and down. Sit really tall. Close your eyes again. Just notice how you're doing. And if you're feeling fine and fabulous, just stay right here at the front of the chair. If you need a rest, you can slide back, you can take a sip of water or two. I'm going to finish with a forward fold. So open up your eyes if you're coming with me. Open out your knees wide. It's a really good thing to do, to open out the knees, to get those adductors, those long ribbon-like muscles on the inner thighs, get them stretched out, and to activate the outer hips, especially the glute medius, right? It's very, very useful to have those strong. It helps with your gait, how you're walking, right? The length of your gait. And you want to hopefully maintain a pretty long gait. Helps with, well, there's a correlation between a good, healthy gait and lifespan. Okay, sit yourself tall. Close your eyes if you're willing. And sense, right? Sense your inner thighs, sense your outer hips. What does this feel like? Is it too much? Are things shaking? Is it too easy? Is it super like, well, nothing's going on? Do you need to do a bit more? Do you need to do a bit less? You're looking, as always, for a mild to moderate stretch. Okay, open up your eyes again once you've sensed yourself. So caution, right? Friends with high blood pressure, friends with eye pressure issues, don't come any further forwards than your forearms. Same for osteoporosis, osteopenia, friends. Caution how far forwards you go. So we're going to have a good breath in, lift the chest, and as you exhale, slide yourself to your forearms. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. I might have slid forwards and rounded my chest, right? If that's you, just come start again. Think about the sides of your waist long as you breathe in, and think about hinging at the hips as you exhale. So you can keep your spine pretty long here. So if this feels enough, or if you're in those categories I described already, just stay. Otherwise, as you start to exhale, you might slide your hands down your shins. Keep a good hold for a moment. If you feel ready, you might drop your hands to the ground and maybe even your head. Careful. Are you breathing? Okay. Ever so carefully, bring your palms back to your thighs, draw your chin a bit back towards your throat, and as you inhale, push strongly down to lever yourself slowly back up. Now, I've still got my chin a little tucked, and then finally I'm going to bring my head back up to neutral here. So knees can come hip width apart. You can stay at the front of the chair. You can shift back in your chair. Rest your hands down. Maybe unite your index finger and your thumb here. Close your eyes if you're willing. Just check in with the legacy of your practice. How are you doing now? Take 5 slow, smooth, steady breaths in and out. Keep your mind in your body, sensing those breaths, feeling how the breath moves you. And after your 5 breaths, keep your eyes closed. If you're wearing spectacles, just slide them onto the top of your head. We're going to rub the hands together. So make your palms really warm. And once you sense that heat between your hands, cup your eyes. So you're just cupping your eyes, not pressing. And then cup your ears, including maybe hearing aids. And then either cup the base of the throat or the back of your neck. By the way, you don't have to touch your body if you don't want to. You can just have your hands ahead of you or hovering just over you. And then finally, to your heart center. Let your attention drop into your heart space behind your breastbone, like deep in your body. You might keep the hands as they are, but I invite you to once more unite your hands in Anjali Mudra here. Forearms pretty much parallel with the ground if you can. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Gently bow your head over your hands. A moment of gratitude for this great tradition of yoga. When you feel ready, blinking your eyes open. Thanks so much for your attention. Suggest you sit with your eyes closed, breathing for another 5-10 minutes. Let yourself just stay in this mood that you've created. It's called a path that you've created for yourself. Don't forget all the things. Subscribe, like, please, please, please write in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, what you'd like more of, and I'll do my best to serve you. See you next time on Chair Yoga with Josie.